Holistic Fitness Lifestyle. With Mike Thomas and Danielle Fishman.
Hello, my name is Mike Thomas, and thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you on this journey of basic core strength, which will support your body to produce optimum power with minimal effort, to move well and feel great in every possible moment, increase your available energy, and will progressively allow your inner child to come out and play with the vibrancy of a youthful spirit. The following core strength exercises are an opportunity to develop balanced strength in a full spectrum of body movements. Each exercise will be an opportunity to practice utilizing core breathing to integrate the parasympathetic nervous system with alignment principles to optimize power, efficiency, and injury prevention. For simplicity, the sets, repetitions, and weights have not been specified. Generally, beginning these exercises with minimal resistance and practicing around 8 to 15 repetitions will allow a basic understanding of their value and appropriate execution. The goal of these exercises is to move well and practice training the nerve-muscle connection to fire in a more efficient way rather than to reach fatigue or feel a burn sensation in the muscles. Often, fitness professionals will recommend pushing through discomfort, whereas holistic fitness lifestyle focuses on muscle patterning through awareness, sensitivity, and mastery. This may seem counterintuitive based on what is currently popular, but your long-term benefits far outweigh the temporary feeling of accomplishment through the feeling of working hard. You might say that our approach is work smarter, not harder. In this series, you will need a comfortable surface to lie on, dumbbells of the appropriate weight for your strength level, a bench or a sturdy chair, a yoga block, and an exercise stretch tubing with handles. This exercise supports the functional flexibility and rotational power of your torso. Lie on your back with your arms out to the sides and flex your hips, knees, and ankles at a 90-degree angle with a block between your thighs to practice using your inner thigh muscles to stabilize your hips. Inhale as you bring your legs to the side, and exhale as you center your legs while engaging your abdominal muscles. Alternate sides. Inhale to the side and exhale toward the center. Be mindful of keeping your shoulder blades on the floor and your inner thighs engaged to keep your knees even relative to one another as you move side to side. Picture a whip where the handle generates the force, and the force is carried out through the end of the whip. Your ribs tucking with the engaging of your abdominals is the handle of the whip, and your legs are the follow-through of the whip. Allow your legs to follow your core, which is initiated with your exhale. Focus on how the inhale aids the stretch of your core, while the exhale aids the contraction of your core to generate the movement toward the center. Leg raise, hip raise. This exercise supports the strengthening of your core in relation to the functional flexibility of your hip flexors or psoas muscles. Start with your feet above your hips with straight knees. Place the block between your thighs to practice relieving tension in your hips with a slightly internal rotating motion. Exhale as you lower your legs toward the floor, keeping your mid-back on the floor using your abdominals. If your ribs lift and your mid-back comes off the floor, your legs have gone too low. If your shoulder blades separate or come up toward your ears, then you have gone too low. Only lower your legs as far as your psoas flexibility will allow you without compromising your form. When you reach your limit of lowering your legs, inhale and lift your legs up and elevate your hips off the floor to further engage the abdominals. Ball leg curl, hip thrust. This exercise integrates the functional strength of your hips and hamstrings with your core while enhancing your ability to stabilize your core. Use the block between your thighs to practice using the inner thigh. Lie on your back and place your heels on top of the ball. Lift your hips into the air to bridge your body, balanced on your shoulder blades, and your heels on the ball. Keep your hips elevated in the same position while you exhale and roll the ball inward until your feet flatten. Inhale as you extend your knees and roll the ball back out while keeping your hips elevated in that same position. Be mindful of keeping your core engaged and breathing smoothly. Once you complete your leg curl repetitions, hold the ball in close with your knees bent and feet flat. Inhale as you lower your hips toward the floor, and exhale as you thrust upward, keeping the ball still. Engage your abdominals at the top of the motion by tucking your ribs and curling your tailbone toward the ceiling as you thrust your hips upward. This will assist your motion using your abdominals as well as your gluteal muscles. When you complete your hip thrust repetitions, keep your hips elevated, extend your knees outward until you form a straight line, and then finally lower your hips to complete the exercise. Cross sit-ups. This exercise supports your core strength integrated with functional torso rotation. Lie on your back with your arms outstretched overhead. Place your left hand on the floor, slightly out to the side with a bent elbow. Bend your right knee so that your foot is flat and visualize the ribs on your right side moving toward your left hip. Exhale as you twist toward the left arm, leaning on it as you sit up and lift your left leg toward your right arm. Focus on the twisting motion, leading with your abdominals by visualizing the ribs on your right going toward your left hip. Exhale as you sit up and twist, and inhale as you slowly lower yourself back down. Relax your upper and lower body as much as you can, and focus on your abdominals creating the twisting motion. Repeat as many repetitions as you can, and then repeat the same amount on the other side. Face-down bridge variations. This series is essential for core strength, integrated with the upper and lower body. Plank hold. Place the forearms on the floor with the elbows directly below the shoulders. Practice lifting and releasing the ribs to engage your upper abdominals. Then practice tucking your tailbone with your lower abdominals to practice keeping the core as short as possible in the front while lengthening the spine. Check to see that your shoulder blades are connected to open the chest by lifting the upper body and lowering the upper body between the shoulder blades, separating and connecting them on your back. Make sure they are connected as closely as possible. Check the head position by pulling the chin upward to lengthen the back of the neck, as well as dropping the head down again to make sure your head is parallel to your spine and hips. Breathe smoothly into your core while focusing on rounding the mid-back upward while keeping the head, spine, and legs aligned and level. As you get better at keeping the core engaged by tucking the ribs to round the mid-back up, begin to practice keeping your shoulder blades connected to open your chest as well. They will fight one another a bit in the beginning. Be patient and focus on small steps. As a beginner, you may want to start with the knees on the floor instead of the toes, and work toward extending your hold time to 1 minute before progressing to holding this position on the toes. With leg lifts. To further challenge the core strength integrated with the legs, begin to practice leg lifts for as many repetitions as you can while maintaining the mid-back rounded up with the rib tuck. Repeat an equal number of repetitions on the other leg. Push-up bridge. This is the most advanced variation in the series. Push up on your hands, replacing your hands where your elbows were on the floor. Keep the muscular work even on each side by coming up onto one hand with the right side and then up with the left, then go back down leading with the right again. Do the same coming up, leading with the left coming up, and leading with the left on the way back down. Repeat as many times as you can with good form. Pay more attention to keeping the shoulder blades connected in this variation in order to release any unnecessary chest tension. Superman with arms at sides. This exercise is important for developing the back link. Lie face down with the palms facing upward. Exhale as you lift your head, chest, and legs, leading with the chest and thighs. Inhale as you slowly lower back down toward the floor. As you lift, rotate your arms so that your thumbs turn down, out, and possibly upward to open the chest and connect the shoulder blades. Keep the back of your neck long by lifting your head while also keeping the chin tucked in toward the chest. Be mindful of your leg position to release any unnecessary tension in the hips by turning your toes and knees down and pointing your heels upward. Superman with arms overhead. This is the more challenging variation for the shoulder joint, and it promotes shoulder mobility as you practice and become more masterful at it. Shrug and depress your shoulders to practice keeping your neck long, and maintain that length throughout this variation of the Superman. Also, check your lower body to make sure you are creating balance through internally rotating your thighs to point your knees down and heels up. As you lift your upper body, be mindful of how much effort is absolutely necessary to lift the arms while keeping the length in the back of the neck. Keeping the arms relaxed and leading the motion with the chest can assist in making this movement more efficient and beneficial for your neck and shoulders. As you progress in efficiency with this exercise, practice pulling the belly in toward the spine on the exhale with the lift. This is particularly difficult in this position because your weight is resting on your belly. Side bridge variations. This series is excellent for strengthening lateral core strength integrated with shoulder stability and lateral hip strength. Side bridge hold. Place your elbow under your shoulder and lift your body off the floor with your ankles off the ground. Focus on aligning your head with your spine, hips, and legs to extend the hips and open the chest. Stack your feet for a stability challenge, or stagger your feet one in front of the other for more support. For more core and shoulder challenge, release the block and reach your hand upward. Hold for up to 30 seconds before doing the more challenging variations. Side bridge with leg lifts. Either use the block for more support or keep the arm outstretched for a stability challenge. Breathe smoothly while lifting your top leg. Keep your hips still to challenge your core stability. Side bridge with twists. Stagger your feet for more support or stack your feet for a stability challenge. With your top hand behind your head, twist to point your elbow toward the floor as you inhale, and exhale as you point it upward. Be mindful of your head, hips, and feet maintaining a straight line. Side bridge crunching starfish. This is the most advanced variation in the series. With the top hand reaching overhead, flex slightly forward as you bring your elbow and knee together during the inhale. Exhale as you extend your arm overhead and keep the top leg elevated over the bottom leg. Side double leg lift. This exercise is excellent for integrating lateral hip strength and stability with the core. Lie on your side with your bottom arm supporting your head and your top arm in front of you on the floor. Lift both legs together off the floor while finishing your exhale. Inhale as you release and reset between repetitions. Ball kneeling roll through. This is an excellent core strengthening exercise that also increases stability challenge by using an unstable ball for challenging your balance. Kneel upright with your knees directly below your hips and shoulders. Extend your arms in front, touching the ball with your hands. The block between the thighs can be helpful for engaging the inner thigh to release any unnecessary tension in the hips. Straight arm variation. This variation is more challenging for the arms and core. Focus on leading with the hips as you roll the ball forward until your hips are fully extended. Be mindful of keeping the mid-back rounded out with the ribs tucked. If you feel discomfort in your lower back, limit how far your arms reach forward. Aim to fully extend the hips while maintaining the rounding out of the mid-back. The arms can begin extending more as your core becomes stronger over time to maintain solid core position. Be mindful of any discomfort in the lower back. If you feel discomfort in your lower back, stop the exercise and find an easier version until your core is ready. Bent arm variation. This is a less challenging version of the kneeling ball roll through to allow you to focus more on your core position. This variation is very much like the position of the face-down bridge, but with the arms on the ball instead of the floor. This easier variation is a great stepping stone to work toward achieving the integrated strength of the arms and core that you achieve in the straight arm version. Ball opposite arm leg lift. This is an excellent exercise for strengthening the back link while challenging stability. Lie face down on the ball with the arms and feet touching the floor gently. Find your center by lifting all your limbs off the floor to see how you may need to adjust forward or backward to center your body on the ball. With even pressure on the front of both hips on the ball, Lift one arm and the opposite leg, leading the movement with the chest and thigh. Be mindful of lifting only as much as you can with solid hip pressure, long neck with the chin tucked, both shoulder blades connecting on each lift, and point the elbows toward the floor to release unnecessary shoulder tension. Repeat with the opposite limbs the same amount of repetitions you did on the other side. An excellent variation of this exercise is to alternate sides for a greater stability challenge. Push-ups. This exercise is great for strengthening the chest, arms, and integrating the upper body with the core. Regular version. Set up your hands slightly wider than your shoulders and your legs supported by your toes. Arch your spine and connect your core alternately to see if your abdominals are properly engaged. Check to see that your shoulder blades are connected by separating and connecting them a few times in this position. Check to see that your head is aligned with your spine by lowering it and raising it with your chin tuck a few times. Aim your chest between your hands and inhale as you slowly lower your body by bending your elbows. Keep your head level with your hips and your core tight. Feel for your chest gently stretching on the way down and notice if your neck is lengthened. Exhale as you press yourself upward, being mindful of keeping your core tight with the ribs tucked, head in line with your hips, and your shoulder blades on your back. Modified version on knees. If the regular version of push-ups is too challenging for maintaining your core, head position, or shoulder blades, place your knees on the floor and practice the modified version until your alignment is easy to maintain. The same form applies, keeping a straight line from the head to the knees. If the hips tilt so the rear points upward, make sure to extend the hips again to align the legs with the spine, using your abdominals. Be patient and allow proper form to be your goal so that your body mechanics promote power, ease, and allows your movement to support effortless strength production. Bench dips. This exercise strengthens the triceps while training the shoulder blades to stay on the back, opening the chest and lengthening the neck. Bent knee version. Place your feet flat under your knees, bent at 90 degrees, with your hands on the bench slightly behind you. Be mindful of the shoulder blades, keeping them connected to open the chest and depressed downward to lengthen the neck. Keep your head back to align it over the spine. Lower your hips and torso in front of the bench, allowing your elbows to bend, keeping your torso and head vertical. If your shoulders elevate, round forward, or if your head goes forward, focus on realigning your shoulder blades and head before attempting to go deeper. Once you can reach a 90-degree angle at your elbows, with your upper arms parallel to the ground comfortably in this exercise, you are ready for the straight knee version. Straight knee variation. Extend your knees so that your feet are further in front of you, heels on the floor with your toes up. Again, be mindful of keeping your torso vertical as you descend. Be aware of your head staying back over your spine, your shoulders low, away from your ears, and your chest open so that your shoulder blades stay connected. Repeat as many repetitions as you can. Bent over dumbbell row. This exercise strengthens your back muscles while integrating your spinal stability. Allow your knees to slightly bend and bend forward into a deadlift position with your lower back arched to support your back with the back link. With the dumbbells directly below your shoulders and your palms facing backward, keep your torso as close to parallel with the ground as possible. Exhale and pull the weights up and slightly backward to maintain a vertical position with your forearms. Turn your palms inward as you pinch your shoulder blades together and pull up. Be mindful of keeping your lower back arched, the back of your neck long with your chin tucked, and your shoulders away from your ears. Pull only high enough for you to maintain your open chest. If your shoulders round forward in this motion, you are pulling your elbows too high for your shoulder flexibility. Focus on pinching your shoulder blades together at the top of this motion with your exhale, and inhale as you slowly lower the dumbbells back below the shoulders. Once you finish your repetitions, stand up using the motion of a deadlift to support your spine. Pull-ups. This exercise strengthens the lats and balances the glutes in an integrated back link. This is a more advanced exercise and may require some assistance with the feet on a chair or a band under the knees to assist in this motion. Exhale as you pull your body upward, driving your elbows down and keeping your core tight. Inhale as you lower yourself slowly, allowing your elbows to fully straighten before pulling up again. If your shoulders round forward, shrug upward toward your ears, or if your back arches, give yourself more assistance or do fewer reps until your form improves. Band side raises. This exercise strengthens the medial deltoid, the middle of the shoulder. Stand with the center of the band under your feet and hold the handles of the band at your sides. Exhale as you lift your arms sideways until they are parallel with the ground or slightly above. Keep your elbows extended and your palms facing the floor at the top of the motion. Lower slowly as you inhale. Repeat this motion until you reach the limit of fatigue in your shoulders. Band front raises. This exercise strengthens the anterior deltoid, the front of the shoulders. In the same position as your band side raises, lift your arms in front until they are parallel with the ground. Exhale as you lift, and inhale as you lower back down slowly. Repeat this motion until you reach the limit of fatigue in your shoulders. Band rear delt raises. This exercise strengthens the rear deltoid, the back of the shoulders. Bend forward into a deadlift position and exhale as you lift your arms out to the sides with extended elbows. Inhale as you lower slowly back down to the rest position. Repeat this motion until you reach the limit of fatigue in your shoulders. Rotator cuff band exercises. These exercises are essential for promoting shoulder stability, mobility, and integrates the arms with the core when appropriately strengthened in a functional manner. Attach one end of the band to something solid and hold the handle, upper arms pinched to your sides with the elbows bent at 90 degrees. Check that your core is connected by tucking your ribs and tailbone, and keep your shoulder blades connected to open your chest while lengthening your neck. Set up the band so that you are holding your arm across your torso while relaxed. Rotate your upper arm to bring the hand from across the body toward the outside. Feel your upper arm rotate as far to the outside as you can while maintaining your form. Control your arm rotating back to the starting position to make sure your arm is only rotating, keeping your upper arm tight to your side. Band internal rotations. To work your internal rotators, simply step away from the band to stretch it a little more and turn around. Keep your upper arm tight to your side as you move your hand across the body, and control your arm motion as you return to the stretched, resting position once again. It is essential that you keep your breath smooth and deep as you remain mindful of your form in order to improve your rotator cuff strength and functional flexibility. Repeat this process of internal and external band rotations on the other arm. Bench squat. This exercise is essential for developing leg strength while integrating the back link and core link to balance your spine. It is an excellent beginner movement for someone who desires development of knee integrity. Start standing in front of the bench with your head and spine vertical and your core connected. Lower your hips by arching the back and reaching your hips back to a seated position. Feel your gluteals stretch with an arched back as you maintain a level chin and eye gaze on the horizon. Keep your chest up. Stand up again while exhaling and reconnecting the core with the head over the spine. Keep your knees in the same position the entire exercise, being mindful of the weight evenly spread over the front and the back of the feet. Bench split squat. This exercise further strengthens the quads and gluteals beyond the basic squat. This is advanced strength work for the quads and can aid in strengthening the connective tissue of the knee and particularly the ACL. Look directly down vertically over the front edge of the bench and step your front foot just beyond your vision under the bench with the front 2 to 3 inches of your foot. Gently touch your front knee to the bench so that your knee joint is centered over the arch of the foot. Gently place the toes of the back leg on the floor for guidance and support. Keeping the weight on the front leg, inhale and sit back into the gluteals of that front leg while keeping the chest up. This increases the arch of your back on the way down Visualize sitting into a chair with that front leg. Stand upward while tucking the tailbone under and dropping the chest to connect the core into a vertical spine position during the exhale. This connects the core and creates a vertical position of your spine over the front foot. Repeat on the other leg. Standing front lunge. This exercise further strengthens the legs beyond the split squat through challenging stability and coordination of stepping into that same position. Inhale and step forward into a split squat position, being mindful that the front knee does not pass in front of the toes. Exhale while forcefully driving the body back into a standing position, pressing from the front of the foot and rolling toward the heel. Be mindful of sitting into a gluteal stretch of your front leg at the bottom of the motion with your inhale, and spring up with quickness on your exhale. Repeat this on the other leg. Standing reverse lunge. This is an equally challenging single leg variation of the front lunge. Step backward onto the toes while sitting into the gluteals with the weight on the front foot. Use your front leg to drive the majority of the body weight upward, and press gently with the toes of the back leg to initiate the forward movement to stand. Notice the back arch on the descent and the core connection engaged in the standing position to lengthen the spine vertically. Repeat this on the other leg. This exercise is an excellent beginner movement for strengthening the spinal stability muscles and hamstrings to enhance the back link. With slightly bent knees, dumbbells held in front of the legs, inhale as you flex forward at the hip joint with the lower back arched to support the spine. Exhale as you stand upright quickly, tucking the tailbone and ribs when standing with the head over the spine. Notice the hamstrings lengthen on the descent, with the tailbone pointing outward behind and the chest up to support a strong back link. Keep the knees slightly bent, vertically positioned over the knees at all times. Lengthen the back of your neck by tucking the chin. Staggered single leg deadlift. This variation of the deadlift focuses more weight on one leg to further improve the strength of the hamstrings. Stagger one leg back, gently touching the toes for balance. Bend forward like the original deadlift, but focus the weight and the control on the front standing leg. Repeat the same amount of repetitions on the other leg. Dumbbell airplanes. This is an advanced hamstring strengthening exercise, focusing on single leg stability with dumbbells to further challenge leg stability in the hamstrings. Like the staggered single leg deadlift, hold the weights in front of the legs with all the weight on one leg. Inhale and bend forward at the hips as the dumbbells lower in front of the standing leg, lifting the free leg behind opposite the torso. Stand upright as your free leg gently touches next to the standing leg. Make sure to tuck the tailbone and ribs downward with the exhale in the standing position. Repeat the same number of repetitions on the other leg. Bodyweight airplanes. This is a very advanced hamstring stability exercise and can be even more difficult than the dumbbell version because the arms are outstretched and need to be controlled more so than when holding the dumbbells, which can actually serve to anchor the foot on the floor. Inhale and bend forward at the hips slowly, lifting the free leg behind opposite the torso. Keep the back arched as you bend forward with attention on your open chest and connected shoulder blades. Arms can reach up to the sides or stay relaxed and hanging forward. Exhale as you stand upright quickly and tuck your tailbone and ribs downward to connect your core. Your free leg gently touches next to the standing leg. Repeat the same number of repetitions on the other leg. Step-up variations. This exercise is excellent for strengthening the gluteals and promotes better balance and stability. Regular version. Place one leg on a surface high enough to create a parallel position of your thigh to the floor. Imagine your front hip is sitting back into a seat to slightly stretch the gluteals of that front leg while positioning the head slightly forward over the planted foot with the chest up. Exhale as you drive your front foot downward to stand upright on the step, focusing on the gluteals and keeping the heel contact solid. Gently touch the toes of the moving leg next to the planted foot while standing upright with the head vertical over the spine with the tailbone and ribs tucked to connect the core. Inhale as you gently step the moving leg back down toward the floor, controlling the descent with the planted leg on the step. With knee up version. For more stability challenge, continue the motion of your moving leg to lift that knee up. Repeat the same number of repetitions on the other leg. Seated dumbbell bench curls. This exercise strengthens the biceps. Sit upright on the bench with dumbbells in your hands, hanging below your shoulders at your sides, palms facing in. Exhale as you flex your elbows to lift the dumbbells while rotating your palms facing in toward the shoulders. Inhale while slowly lowering the dumbbells to the starting position with the elbows straight. Be mindful of keeping your shoulder blades connected to open the chest and breathe smoothly. Seated dumbbell overhead press. This exercise is excellent for overall shoulder strengthening while integrating the rotator cuff stability. Sit upright on the bench with the dumbbells in your hands, palms facing the front of the chin and neck. Maintaining vertical forearm position, exhale and press the dumbbells up and out to the sides while turning the palms forward as the arms reach a 90-degree angle at the elbows. Continue this motion of the dumbbells up and inward together overhead while lowering down just to the 90-degree elbow position. Exhale while pressing up and in together. Be mindful of keeping your shoulders down away from the ears and the ribs tucked down to integrate core stability. When finished all of your repetitions, bring the dumbbells back down in front before lowering them and placing them down to rest. Band wood chops. This is an excellent core rotation strengthening exercise that integrates upper body. Anchor the stretch band to an elevated and stable object. Stand upright with the knees slightly bent and the head over the hips to remain vertical with the spine. Hold the free end of the band with both hands clasped beginning over the shoulder nearest the anchored band. Exhale as you chop downward quickly on a diagonal angle from the shoulder toward the opposite hip. Inhale as you return slowly to the upright position. Lead this movement with the core by focusing on the rotation of the ribs from the shoulders toward the opposite hip. Keep the head, arms, and chest aligned to move together as the rotating torso leads the movement. Be mindful of the shoulder blades staying connected to open the chest, the head over the hips so the spine remains vertical, and breathe smoothly. Repeat the same amount of repetitions on the other side. Band reverse wood chops. This is also an excellent core rotation strengthening exercise that integrates upper body strength using the back and shoulder muscles to balance the motion of the regular wood chops. Anchor the stretch band to a stable object near the floor. Stand upright with the knees slightly bent and the head over the hips to remain vertical with the spine. Tuck the tailbone and ribs downward to keep the core connected in this vertical position. Hold the free end of the band with both hands clasped beginning by the hip. Exhale as you chop upward quickly on a diagonal angle from the hip toward the opposite shoulder. Inhale as you return slowly to the downward position by the hip. Lead this movement with the spinal muscles by focusing on the rotation of the ribs from the hip toward the opposite shoulder. Keep the head, arms, and chest aligned vertically to move together as the rotating torso leads the movement. Be mindful of the shoulder blades staying connected to open the chest, the head over the hips so the spine remains vertical, and breathe smoothly. Repeat the same number of repetitions on the other side. This has been an awareness journey into the basics of core strength by Mike Thomas of the Holistic Fitness Lifestyle. Remember, express the greatness of who you are as a human being. Ground yourself with the tools that access inspiration. Know yourself and be empowered. Namaste.